A request from the former police chief in Punta Gorda why he wants to get the FBI involved in an investigation into a deadly shooting. More insight into the Texas school massacre, what the gunman's father has to say about a possible motive. And a road closure at a local high school gets the green light. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon is the weather. This is a live look at the Sarasota Bayfront where there's blue skies and sunshine right now, but still plenty of rain to come this week and also increased chances of a tropical system forming later this week in the Gulf. Meteorologist John Scalzi joins us now with the first alert forecast. John?
Scott, that's absolutely right. As you mentioned, the clouds that we see out there currently are not directly associated with this area of broad low pressure in the Caribbean that the Hurricane Center is watching. They are, however, part of a tropical moisture river of moisture that's been just moving over the state of Florida for day after day after day for about 10 days now, and has produced just massive amounts of rainfall in places. Again, today, our rainfall chances are high. Yesterday, we got tremendous amounts of rain in some locations. 4-inch rainfalls were being reported by some of our spotters. And today, we're starting to see those showers beginning to build in Charlotte County, moving generally off to the northwest and producing, again, a good chance of seeing more showers, all coming up from the south, riding on that atmospheric river. It's continuing to pump moisture across the state, while the areas in Gulf waters are still kind of dry. Drier air aloft, I think, is inhibiting and limiting the development of the system that's down in the Caribbean, as well as some upper level winds that are somewhat hostile to development. So it'll take a few days before this system shows, I think, any kind of signs of appreciable development. But 5 days from now, the Hurricane Center gives it about a 40% chance of developing, and it is interesting enough that the Hurricane Center has dubbed it 9DL, an invest. Now, an invest has nothing to do with the confidence in this thing developing. It has to do with the fact that it puts into motion a series of data collection efforts as well as computer model runs, specialized hurricane computer model runs, simulating any kind of development that may occur with that system, which is important for the hurricane forecast team at the National Hurricane Center. That's why it's become an invest. One of the major concerns about this thing is the amount of rain it could produce. And right now, taking a look at the rainfall over the last 4 days, we have had some impressive amounts, over 5-6 inches of rain in some locations, so the ground is fully saturated. And if you look at the forecast for moisture in the atmosphere available to produce rain and put it through time as we head into the weekend and this system moves north into Gulf waters, the air becomes very humid and the possibility of some excessive rainfall becomes pretty great. So we could, by the end of the week, start to see some flood watches being issued for the state of Florida. Today, about a 60% chance of rain showers continuing through drive time tonight, heavy at times, and then tapering off later in the day. We'll have more on this system coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. New at noon, new developments surrounding the investigation into an accidental shooting death of a 73-year-old Charlotte County woman. Former Police Chief Tom Lewis is requesting now the FBI investigate unethical and criminal conduct within the Punta Gorda Police Department. The request stems from the events surrounding the shooting death of Mary Knowlton during a civilian police class. Lewis believes the city manager paid off internal affairs investigators by giving them pay increases to author false investigative narratives to cover up employee involvement. City representatives deny the allegation. Lewis was acquitted of culpable negligence in the case. Now to new developments in that high school shooting at Santa Fe High in Texas. We're now hearing from the suspect's father and are learning new details about how police say they stopped the alleged gunman. ABC's Maggie Rulli shows us what happened that tragic day on campus.
We're now learning more about what happened inside Santa Fe High School when the gunfire broke out last Friday. The Galveston County Sheriff revealing those crucial moments officers were caught in a firefight with the suspected gunman as students were evacuating.
The two officers that engaged that individual within 4 minutes, or approximately 4 minutes, they're heroes. They contained him in that one area, isolated to them, engaging with them.
One of those officers, John Barnes, remains in the hospital.
He's still not out of the woods, and his family still needs prayers and prayers for a healthy recovery.
More than 200 officers responded to the school, ending the ordeal after 25 long and terrifying minutes.
We could hear him going back and forth, shooting multiple times. and then it got silent, and he said woohoo, and he was cheering himself on.
It's a tragedy that's touched nearly everyone in the community. The sheriff revealing his own granddaughter was just 3 doors away from where bullets were flying.
Anybody wants to hear their heart stop and see how long they cannot breathe? Wait till that phone call comes in. Until you know they're safe.
This morning, the alleged gunman's under suicide watch at the Galveston County Jail, charged with capital murder. His father claims his son was bullied, telling Greek TV, "What happened, I can't even say. Nonetheless, I'm saying what I suspect as a father because I have lost my son." Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced he's going to be hosting a series of roundtable discussions about how to make schools safer and more secure in his state. The first one starts this afternoon. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
Well, if you want to know where mass school shootings are most likely to happen, look to small town America. The massacre that killed 10 people at that high school in Texas last week was the latest to happen in a small town. Of the 10 deadliest shootings in the U.S., all but one took place in a town with fewer than 75,000 residents, and the vast majority of them were in cities with fewer than 50,000 people. Experts say the phenomenon is due to a variety of factors that include easy access to guns and the copycat effect of disturbed suburban and small-town teenagers who are emulating each other. Sarasota City Commissioners making a change at a high school that they say will keep students safer. Last night, commissioners deciding to extend the time School Avenue is closed to vehicle and pedestrian traffic. That road runs right through the middle of the Sarasota High School campus. This new change will prevent all cars, pedestrians, and bicycle riders from using School Avenue between 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. on school days. A security guard for the school claims criminals have been able to access the campus during the school day, but that will change now.
I've been through a lot of different situations there with drug dealers, pedophiles, people running from the law that were armed, that could have just come on our campus very easily. So to me, this is the best thing that could happen right now. I'd still like to see the road closed permanently.
The changes to School Avenue will begin in August with the start of the new school year. Tomorrow, Sarasota County Public Schools will host a digital town hall to discuss school safety as well as mental and behavioral health issues. Parents and guardians will be able to stream it live on Facebook, the Education Channel, and the Sarasota County School website and ask the panelists questions. It gets underway at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We're learning more about a drowning off Siesta Key Beach last Friday afternoon. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office says the victim was 59-year-old Robert Kennedy of Missouri. Witnesses say the victim was about 50 feet offshore when he appeared to get caught in a rip current. 2 men were nearby and tried to help.
We kind of were watching him, and all of a sudden he flips over onto his back, face down in the water, and at that point I run out and I attempt to start pulling the man in while he went and grabbed a noodle from a family's beach setup nearby. And once we got him in, we brought him to shore, and a couple people were CPR certified.
Paramedics took over but could not revive the victim. The Sheriff's Office wouldn't say exactly how Kennedy died, but this happened near Whispering Sands Drive at the north end of Siesta Key. 2 men are behind bars after a drug bust in Northport. Police searching a home on Exotic Avenue yesterday after they received several complaints from neighbors. When police entered the house, they say they found drugs, used needles, meth pipes, ammo, and a note reading, "Do not answer the door for the police." 47-year-old Michael Schaff and 52-year-old Travis Evans have both been charged with resisting arrest and obstruction. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the search for 2 women in the Florida Keys, what one man claims happened while he was boating with the women early this morning. Plus, a warning about zombies. A Florida city is now left trying to figure out who was behind the alert. Stay with us.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You are like no other. So why should your choices be ordinary? Ghibli, the absolute opposite of ordinary.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now. Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So for the rest of the afternoon, I think we have a good chance of seeing some more heavy rainfall at times. I don't think we'll see it as heavy or continuous or widespread as yesterday, but there'll be pockets around today, no doubt. 60% chance of seeing some rain, and as we head into the evening rush hour, that rain chance still remains high. It'll start to taper off after daytime heating starts to wane. As we head into the midnight hour, we're at 40%, and by tomorrow morning, about 20%. I think we may get a chance at seeing a little bit more sunshine around tomorrow morning and a chance to dry out, which is a good thing. We're looking at some scattered showers now moving into parts of Charlotte County. Some moderate rainfall in some cells, but most of it is light to moderate rain. We'll probably see this coverage begin to increase over the course of this broadcast anyway, and certainly by into the afternoon hours. So here's our system, and the chances of it developing over 5 days has increased to 40% now from yesterday's 20%, which is not surprising because today's forecast, 5 days out, includes an extra day. This system is really not going to have a chance to develop until later in the week. So as we head into the subsequent forecasts, I think we'll probably see those chances maybe rise just a little bit or stay at about 40% perhaps with time. Tomorrow, I think high pressure builds in a little bit and maybe retreats a little bit, and that brings us a chance at seeing a little bit more sunshine in the forecast. Tomorrow, a little less rain chance. We'll still see some showers around, but it won't be, I think, as heavy. Then as this low lifts into the Gulf waters, our rain chances will start to increase, particularly on Friday and then into Saturday and Sunday. I think it's going to be very rainy, depending on the eventual track of that low, its intensity, and its eventual location. So heavy rain possible for this afternoon in isolated pockets, and then some drying tomorrow, maybe a little bit more sunshine for a day or two, and then possible heavy rain this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and call first alert weather days this weekend simply because there's a potential of some flooding rainfall in low-lying areas and already saturated ground. So spaghetti plots of this system are kind of really all over the place. You know, there's a big spread still, but we're starting to see some little convergence up around the northern Gulf Coast of a few of the models, mostly the Canadian models. We're still waiting for some later runs of the other models, other global models, but generally speaking, I'll show you the model differences coming up in a second. We have a loop of relatively warm waters in the central Gulf. That's the loop current, and it's a kind of a semi-permanent feature out there with temperatures in the mid-80s, plenty warm enough to support tropical activity. Closer to the coastline, the water temperatures are a little bit lower, so we wouldn't expect to see much intensification if it took a track closer to the Florida Peninsula. Also, winds are limiting the development of this system right now. In this image here, the blue winds are the stronger winds, and right now, The stronger winds are located in an area that it just won't have much of a chance of developing. But as we progress through time by Saturday, the winds start to relax. The red bullseye is a prime area for some development to possibly occur, at least in terms of shear, and that will be encompassing a lot of the northern Gulf waters with time helping to aid. So this is the American forecast, and it develops the system and takes it up toward the state of Florida as a weak tropical storm, perhaps a 1,005 millibar central low. I wouldn't really concentrate on that too much, but it does put a lot of rain on the west coast of Florida. The European model forecast takes it a little bit further to the north along the north central Gulf waters, and here again the potential for some heavy rain is possible, but as it develops it and pushes it further toward Louisiana Delta region, perhaps our rain chances down just a little bit compared to the GFS model. So there's time to evolve and watch how this system takes shape with time. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10 for boaters today. Okay, I think we'll need to keep close attention on the weekend forecast for you boaters, though, because that's the one that really matters. Watch for a reduced rain chance for a couple days. Then as we head into the weekend, our rain chances really do go up. Potential for some heavy rain. I wouldn't be surprised to see some flood watches posted pretty soon for the weekend, and the potential of some heavy rain, and that really continues right into Memorial Day Monday, I'm afraid. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In Health Smart, a new study suggests a growing number of kids are unnecessarily or accidentally taking ADHD drugs. And as Kim Hutcherson reports, that can lead to serious health problems.
According to a new study, accidental exposure to common medications used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder have increased by more than 60% in U.S. children. The reasons vary by age. In younger children, accidental exposure was mostly due to exploratory behavior or therapeutic error. In teens, the majority of calls were due to intentional overexposure. Drug safety experts say the problem is similar to the problem with opioids. The drugs are too easy to access. To prevent exposure, you should be storing ADHD drugs in a safe place. You can also dispose of any unused drugs by taking advantage of drug take-back days.
If you have drugs in your home, or you are caring for a family member or a friend who has drugs in their home that they are not using, you can go to any of the labeled pharmacies where there will also be law enforcement available and take back any drug. No one's going to ask you any questions.
ADHD medications are considered to be stimulants. Overexposure symptoms include agitation, tremors, increased heart rate, confusion, and seizures. There were even 3 exposure-related deaths during the study window. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Families coping with Alzheimer's say the news that famous British actress Barbara Windsor has the disease will help them fight the stigma surrounding dementia. Windsor starred in a string of British hit comedies in the 1960s and later played a main role in one of UK's longest-running soaps. Earlier this month, her husband disclosed that she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's 4 years ago. He told the British press he wanted to make his wife's disease public to help other families who have loved ones with the disease.
The early symptoms of dementia might be things like changes in your memory or changes in your language, but to have dementia, they have to be severe enough to affect your everyday life. So, for example, forgetting occasional appointments is something that might happen to all of us, but forgetting you had a visitor in the morning the same day might be a sign of dementia.
Now at the age of 80, Barbara Windsor has been honored by the Queen and is considered to be a national treasure. All right, let's head over to the kitchen and say hello to our guest today, Chef Eddie from Apollonia Grill. Eddie, great to have you back in our kitchen. What's on your menu for today?
Hi, Scott. Thanks for having me. Today we'll do one of our very popular dishes at the restaurant, chicken Florentine.
Peterson Toyota of Sarasota offers hundreds of models to choose from. And now you can take your shopping experience to the next level with SRQ Plus. You'll love its added benefits exclusively at Peterson Toyota of Sarasota or toyotaofsarasota.com.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
When I was growing up,
My mom told us, always treat others the way you want to be treated. She did business with companies that shared her values, like Mutual of Omaha. She had a guaranteed whole life insurance policy through United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, a Mutual of Omaha company. When my mother passed away, her United of Omaha policy helped cover her funeral expenses and bills, and they had money on its way to us within 24 hours.
United of Omaha is here to take care of you. When you call the number on your screen, we'll help find the right policy for you. If you're between 45 and 85, you can get coverage up to $25,000 with no medical exam. Call us right now at the number on your screen.
Now I know I'll be taking care of my family, even after I'm gone.
United of Omaha Guaranteed Whole Life Insurance. Call or go online now. Be there for their future.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Some parents in New York are taking their 30-year-old son to court because they say he won't move out of their house. ABC's Amy Robach takes a look at this legal battle.
One couple is taking their 30-year-old son to the New York Supreme Court in a last-ditch effort to get him out of their home.
We are men who still live at home. Yes. I'm not here to apologize about who we are, how we do it, or who we live with. No!
Like the movie Failure to Launch.
Because it's going to take a stick of dynamite to get me out of my parents' house.
The boy is 35 years old.
It's just not fair.
35 years.
We were good parents, and now we're supposed to be done.
In court documents obtained by ABC News, Mark and Christina Rotundo claim they have given their son Michael 5 written notices telling him he must leave their house immediately and will not be allowed to return, even offering him $1,100 so he could find a place to stay, along with advice on how to make money, like selling his stereo and tools.
P.S. Matthew McConaughey at least had a job selling boats on the weekend, whether he was successful or not. He had a job. This guy does not.
But Michael argues his parents' attempts to remove him from his home are retaliatory and that the notices did not provide him reasonable time to vacate.
I think the courts are going to side with the parents and tell Michael to take the pat and turner, pat the street and turn the corner. Get out.
Amy Robach reporting there. All right, let's get over to the kitchen. John is with our friend today, Chef Eddie from Apollonia Grill. John?
I can't even believe that story. How you doing, Eddie? Good to see you here.
I'm doing good, John. Thank you.
What you cooking for us today?
So today we'll make a chicken Florentine. We make this at the restaurant. It's a little bit different than what maybe some people have seen recipes for. It is not stuffed. So we make it because we feature this in our prefix menu, and we need to make it pretty quick. And it's pretty healthy. It's really good. We feature this on our Monday prefix that you get 3 courses for $20.
Whoa, can't beat that.
All right, so we'll get started with the sauce really quick because we'll get on the chicken. So I got some olive oil, a little bit of red onions, and a little bit of, about a tablespoon of onions and about a tablespoon of garlic.
That's what I'm talking about.
We love garlic, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're gonna sweat that out a little bit.
And by sweating, you mean you're not going to saute it till the garlic is brown. You're just going to get it translucent.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we got some chicken, and we have some flour. This flour needs to be seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper. So this is one of those dishes that anybody can make at home, very easy, on a Monday or a Tuesday.
It's a quick meal?
Pretty quick meal, yeah, that's right.
That's
so
nice.
some thin chicken cutlets right there. Shouldn't take too long to cook. You sear it on the pan. You could finish it on the pan, or you could put it in the oven to finish it. But you want to get a nice crust. Now we use flour because we like the richness of the flour adds. You don't have to, but the sauce will stick to the flour nicely once we make the sauce. So there we go. The chicken is going in there.
So no dredging necessary as you put the flour on there,
That's
right?
it. Yep. Simple as that. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I was
we need
gonna
to
help you
mix
out
that.
here while you
Thank
flour.
you.
Got about 2
Actually,
minutes left.
We're gonna put a little bit of white wine to slow that cooking down, and then we're gonna add some tomatoes. Normally I would use cherry tomatoes, but I really like these tomatoes that came in today this morning. They're showing up right here. Now,
they're beautiful.
We make our chicken Florentine with Kalamata olives. Obviously, we're a Greek Mediterranean restaurant. If you're not a fan of Kalamata olives, you could use something a little bit more milder or sweeter olives.
I could eat them by the cupful.
But yeah, I think this just works really, really nice. All right, so we're gonna saute that a little bit longer. And then we're gonna add our spinach. Lots of spinach because that's gonna wilt down. And as our chicken is cooking, I have one finishing in the oven. So I'm going to flip that. You kind of want to get a nice golden brown color in there. And then the secret sauce that I don't have a lot of time to make it here is a Beurre Blanc sauce. White wine, lemon juice, a little bit of cream, a little bit of butter. You boil it down and then you set it aside till it becomes this consistency. And that's going to complete the sauce for the chicken Florentine. You want to wiggle this around so the spinach gets wilted down, and hopefully we can do this here quickly.
I'm always amazed at the volume loss with spinach. You know, you think you're buying tons of it, and then, you know, by the time you bring it to the table, you've got, you know, a tenth of it left.
That's right, yeah. So, and there's a lot of water in spinach too. So I turned it off because this sauce can break on us very easy. So you want to turn it down or bring the heat down to it.
About 15 or 20 seconds left. So as you finish this dish up and add the sauce to it and get it ready to plate, I'll remind everybody the recipe for this is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Go on there, click on it, and the dining link page, and there you go. So, Chef, can you plate it up for me real quick?
Very quick,
and we'll give everybody a last look at what this meal looks like. And I'll try to find my fork and get her going. Oh, that looks so good. Look at
There
that.
you go.
Oh, man, beautiful for this time of weather. And it's on your Monday menu.
That's right.
Right?
It's a 3-course prefix menu every Monday, $20.
Eddie, thanks so very much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
in. We'll be right back.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma.
It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. We begin our second half hour with your first alert forecast as we continue to watch the tropics and the potential for some development there. Meteorologist John Scalzi back with us here at the top.
I think it's important to stress that even if we do get some development, we are not looking at a windstorm around here. We're not looking at a major windstorm. And some of the computer models still have some pretty big differences, so there's plenty of time to watch and see how this evolves. But this is going to be a wet storm, is what this one is. Hopefully it'll take a track and have an intensity that'll give us maybe a day, two maybe, of some wet weather, and then maybe we'll work out one day at least of the weekend where it'll be nice. Of course, the potential exists for us to have 3 days of rainfall, and some of it heavy on a couple of those days, and that's when we would get into trouble because the rivers are already full, and the drainage ditches are kind of filling up, the culverts, and you know, we really don't need any 6-inch rainfalls. So we'll continue to watch today the potential of more rain, kind of like yesterday, showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two at times. I don't think it'll be quite as widespread heavy rain, and I don't think it'll be quite as prolonged, but certainly good chances that everybody sees rain today, about a 60% chance. You can already see it beginning to inform across most of Charlotte County, and I think that'll spread northward with time here. Plenty of tropical moisture lifting up from the south. Most of the state of Florida kind of seeing as rain showers now. It's that atmospheric river, and we've talked about this all week, how that atmospheric river is bringing us such heavy rainfall. These atmospheric rivers are often responsible for flooding in the deep south, and we've heard about them in California as well. That's what we're experiencing currently. 40% chance of showers over a 5-day period. This is now classified as an Invest 90L, L standing for the Atlantic Basin by the Hurricane Center. And what that designation does is trigger off lots of computer models and data acquisition for the forecast teams down in the Hurricane Center. Rainfall forecast is what's troubling. As we head into Saturday and Sunday, rainfall totals could exceed 5-6 inches, maybe more, depending on the track and intensity of the storm, and that could lead to some problems. So we'll update you on this and give you some more details on what the weekend might look like in just about 5 or 6 minutes. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. Right now, the Coast Guard and sheriff's crews are searching for 2 women who went into the water in the Florida Keys and disappeared. According to the Coast Guard, Chris Hambrock reported he was on a small boat with the women off Marathon early this morning. He says both women jumped overboard and then tried to swim ashore. Hambrock lost sight of them and called the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Coast Guard is searching for the women by helicopter and boat, and deputies are also involved in that search. The Department of Justice is accepting the president's latest order to investigate the agency for possible political bias. This comes as the New York Times report claims the FBI sent an informant to question Trump campaign advisors as part of their probe into whether campaign members colluded with the Russians ahead of the election. ABC's Tara Palmieri is in Washington.
Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein returning from a meeting with President Trump and FBI Director Chris Wray, where he accepted a tall order. Investigate your own agency for possible political bias against the Trump campaign and the Russia investigation. Speaker Paul Ryan backing up the White House.
Well, I think it's important that we just let the truth come out on all these things.
At the meeting, Rosenstein agreed to expand the Inspector General's current investigation into possible irregularities at the FBI to include if the agency improperly spied on the Trump campaign. They also agreed to turn over classified documents related to the investigation for review by congressional leaders. Republicans had been demanding the documents, but the DOJ had been reluctant to turn them over because of leaks.
The most important thing is to see how the Justice Department responds. And I think both Rod Rosenstein and Chris Wray responded the right way by not overreacting.
The president's demand comes on the heels of a New York Times report claiming that the FBI secretly sent an informant to meet with Trump advisors who were suspected of contacting Russians before the election. The FBI won't say one way or the other if they sent such an informant, but Democrats are already blasting the president for his demands.
That he would issue such an absurd and abusive demand based on no evidence shows just how little regard the president has for the rule of law.
By agreeing to fold the president's latest requests into the Inspector General's ongoing probe into potential irregularities at the FBI, The department may not be going as far as the president requested, which is to launch a separate investigation. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, the White House.
3 Florida cities will get millions of dollars from the federal government for terrorism prevention efforts. Miami will receive $6 million. The Tampa Bay area, $3 million, and Orlando is getting $1.5 million from the federal grant proposed program. Orlando has been snubbed by the Urban Area Security Initiative grant in previous years, but U.S. Senator Bill Nelson says Orlando deserves that money, especially after the Pulse nightclub massacre when 49 people were killed back in 2016. New at noon, new numbers on manatee deaths here in Florida. As of mid-May, more than 340 manatees have already died in Florida this year. That's ahead of last year's pace when there were a total of 538 sea cow deaths. Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission blaming the deaths to an unseasonably cold February, as well as an overall growing number of manatees, which means more may die since there are more in Florida to begin with. An update now on Florida's attempt to control an infestation of Burmese pythons in the Everglades. The state has been paying a select group of hunters to kill the invasive snakes on state lands in South Florida since March of last year. Today, a big milestone in that program. The 1,000th python will be weighed in Homestead. Pythons are blamed for declining mammal populations across the wetlands. The hunting program was initially limited to Miami-Dade County, but has since been expanded into Broward and Collier counties. The Central Florida city of Lake Worth is trying to explain a bogus alert about zombies. City officials sent out a message during a power outage on Sunday that included a zombie alert. Ari Height explains how this message went out.
It's unclear what caused the power outage in Lake Worth early Sunday morning, but a message from the city indicates it may have been zombies. This is not photoshopped. This is the exact message the city sent out Sunday morning. Power outage and zombie alert for residents of Lake Worth and Terminus. Terminus is a city from the TV show The Walking Dead. The message gives details about the outage and then ends by saying, due to extreme zombie activity, restoration time uncertain. Lake Worth city officials declined an on-camera interview about the message, but they did confirm it came from the city. They say they were hacked. Whenever there is an outage, the system automatically sends a message alerting customers. The city says somebody changed this specific message. They don't know who did it or how, but they have confirmed it was not an employee, nor was it an ex-employee. They also confirmed it's not true. A spokesperson for the city gave this statement: "We are looking into the reports that the system mentioned zombies. I want to reiterate that Lake Worth does not have any zombie activity currently and apologize for the system message." The city says they do not believe the hacker ever gained access to the utility itself.
Well, today you can learn more about the state's plan to add more roundabouts on State Road 64 in Manatee County. The Florida Department of Transportation has plans to add 3 new roundabouts on that busy road east of the interstate. FDOT officials say the roundabouts are proven to be a safer alternative to typical intersections. The state wants to build them on State Road 64 at Lorraine Road, Rye Road, and Grayhawk Boulevard. The roundabout at Rye Road is already scheduled to start construction later this year. FDOT will hold a public hearing on the ones at Grayhawk and Lorraine. That begins at 5 o'clock this afternoon at Bayside Community Church. Sarasota City Commissioners are getting closer to lifting a ban on ice cream trucks. The commission has directed the city attorney to draft an ordinance to allow mobile vending on streets. Right now, there's a ban on mobile businesses, including ice cream trucks, because the city believes it represents a danger to the safety of children. The plan's sponsor is Commissioner Hagan Brody.
The broader issue is, are we going to be friendly to startups and entrepreneurs and small businesses? This is an example of something that we can do to increase the, really improve the business atmosphere in the city of Sarasota. And, the kids will enjoy it too.
Next up, a public hearing and another vote later this month. The Bradenton Dream Center is now a reality. Late this morning, the center on 9th Street West in Bradenton held a grand opening celebration. The nonprofit organization provides free after-school programs for children in kindergarten through 5th grade. Bradenton Dream Center opening in partnership with Bayside Community Church. Well, the Suncoast is different from other parts of Florida in that from the beginning it has been devoted to the arts. In the early 1920s, we already had some impressive and nationally known entertainment venues right here. ABC 7's Linda Carson shows us how those early locations help make this a great place to call home.
Sarasota claimed the title Culture Coast early on. It started in the 1920s when arts and culture came roaring into downtown.
This corner was the Miramar Auditorium, and it would have been like the 1920s version of the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall.
LaHerd says this is where all the acts coming to town performed in those days, but upstairs was where the real action was.
The upstairs was a two-room place. They had a full gambling casino, and it was operated by an outfit named Conrad and Locke out of Chicago. And they wouldn't let locals play, but out-of-towners could go up there and play, and they'd pay off with silver dollars.
And right next to it on Palm Avenue stood the Miramar Apartments.
And the apartments in the Miramar Hotel were built by a gentleman named Andrew McCanch. And he came to Sarasota in the early 20s, just before the land boom, and he was known as an asset to any town that he chose to move to.
He made a deal with city leaders.
He said, if you give me free electricity, free water, and no taxes for 10 years, I'll build you a world-class hotel. And the city council agreed to that.
First, he built the apartments.
They went up in 60 days, and they were known as the 60-day wonder. And then behind that, he built the Miramar Hotel, and then the casino.
It was right on the water.
But in those days, they had a view to the Gulf. Sarasota Bay washed up to Gulfstream Avenue before they rerouted 41 through.
This was Sarasota's entertainment hub.
That sufficed until the Municipal Auditorium went up in like 35 or 36, and that's when more entertainment, larger venues came and put on productions.
And Sarasota changed.
The first downtown condominium came up in 1964, and then they rerouted the Bayfront about 1958. So things started, then Arvida came in 59, and you know, the quays were developed.
But signs of our past still remain. And you can still walk down Palm Avenue today and see a glimpse of Sarasota's past and realize how important entertainment venues have been since the very beginning. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Linda, thank you. Still to come in your Suncoast News, saving Toys R Us. What it will take to keep the popular toy stores open. That story straight ahead.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free. You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now, your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we look for rain chances to be pretty good this afternoon, and there will be periods of some heavier rain possible. We'll look for about a 60% chance of those showers this afternoon, lingering into drive time this evening, about a 50% chance by then. This is some pretty good rainfall, even by summer standards, and certainly rainfall totals again today in some locations could top the 2-inch mark once again. So we've had some significant rains, and we have more in progress down around Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte and areas around Inglewood, Northport seeing some rain showers. None of these are thunderstorms, though. We're not seeing any lightning being detected by the Lightning Detection Network, so that's good. Still some fairly decent rainfall, some heavy rainfall in pockets across the Charlotte area. So over the next 5 days, the moisture plume, the bottom end of it, is forecast to have a low pressure area move out into the Gulf waters. And as it does that, there's about a 40% chance that it could gain some tropical or subtropical structure, become a warm core system perhaps, and lift toward either the northern Gulf Coast or move closer to the eastern Gulf waters. In any event, no matter where it goes, it pretty much at this point promises us some rainfall and potentially some very heavy rainfall, depending on where it ends up and the strength of the system itself. Intensity forecasting, as you probably know, is pretty difficult, and we haven't shown much skill yet in our science in doing predictions of intensity, but track forecasts are pretty good, and they're actually coming into line. 2017 was the best year ever for the Hurricane Center's track forecasts, and right now it seems like there might be a clustering in the northern Gulf Coast, anywhere from Louisiana back toward Florida, for the potential of this system lifting northward and affecting that area directly. The intensities are still, of course, as I mentioned, greatly in question. We have across the region a large swath of rainfall beginning to develop with the system. High pressure tomorrow builds in a little bit, though, and we might get a bit of a break in the rainfall, followed by this system moving into the Gulf waters and its rain shield spreading across the area as we head into the weekend. Two computer models we look at. One, the American model, the GFS, is showing, again, a kind of a broad, diffuse, low-pressure area moving toward the Florida Peninsula, producing at times some pretty heavy rainfall across the state. And that's one solution. The other model, which has been more consistent, the European model, tends to show a more northerly route up toward the northern Gulf Coast, Louisiana Delta region, and that's where the heaviest of the rain would be. But certainly we would still see rain showers around here. And it wouldn't be a particularly stunning weekend, but it might be a little bit less rainfall as we head into the weekend. Still, Saturday and Sunday look to be pretty wet days, no matter what track this storm system takes currently. Rainfall futurecast, again, this is what's troubling because the ground is nearly saturated, and we've had some really heavy rainfalls through parts of our Suncoast area. So as we head through Sunday, Monday, we're looking at perhaps rainfall totals accumulating up over 4 inches, 5 inches perhaps, maybe more. So that's a significant amount of rainfall on saturated ground, and asking some of our rivers and streams that are already at bank full to handle that kind of excessive rainfall is asking a lot, and there will probably be some flood watches issued for the potential of these kind of rains taking place. In any event, it's just not going to be a terribly great weekend, it doesn't look like, in terms of outdoor activity and rain-free skies. Southeast wind coming in at about 5 to 10, moderate chop today. Tomorrow I think will be a pretty good boating day. Friday I think the winds will start picking up, and boaters keep an eye on that weekend boating forecast, and there of course could be a lot of showery activity anyway. 84 today, tomorrow about 83. Good break in the rains perhaps tomorrow and Thursday as well. Then we start to moisten things up. We'll be watching the tropics carefully on Friday. Watches and warnings will probably be issued on Friday if they are needed, which they may well not be. And then as we head into the weekend, of course, alerts. I call it a first alert day, Saturday and Sunday, for the potential of some heavy rainfall. Back to you, Scott.
John, thank you. The billionaire trying to save Toys R Us is giving up on reaching a deal. Back in April, Isaac Larian offered $675 million for 200 of the toy chain's remaining stores in the United States and more than 80 locations in Canada. But Toys R Us rejected his offer, saying it was too low. The CEO of Bratz Dolls and Little Tikes dropped the Canadian stores from the pitch in an effort to save those U.S. locations and jobs. But now Larian is confirming the sale is not going to happen. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is scheduled to appear before European Parliament today. Zuckerberg will likely face some tough questions about how Facebook handles users' personal information. This appearance comes just days before the European Union updates legislation that governs how companies store and treat users' personal data. A 226-year-old glass ceiling is about to break. For the first time in the history of the New York Stock Exchange, a woman will be in charge. The Wall Street Journal reports Stacey Cunningham is set to take over as the big board's 67th president on Friday. Cunningham first started at the Stock Exchange as an intern back in 1994. She's currently the chief operating officer. You don't have to lick stamps anymore, but now you can scratch and sniff them. The U.S. Postal Service is calling them Frozen Treats Forever stamps. They released images showing 10 stamp designs, each including 2 popsicles with 20 stamps per book. USA Today reports they'll all smell the same. The Postal Service has not said what that fragrance will be yet, but says it will evoke a sense of summer. And they did hint at possible aromas, which includes fresh fruit, chocolate, and root beer. They'll be available for pre-order beginning in June. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a first for a former First Family, what the Obamas want to do behind and in front of the camera. That story coming up.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $155 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Everybody can make something because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will make their first public appearance as newlyweds today. The couple will attend Prince Charles's 70th birthday celebration at Buckingham Palace. The party will also highlight the elder prince's charity work. Prince Harry and Meghan, now the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, were married on Saturday. You may have heard about it. Prince Charles walked his now daughter-in-law down the aisle. Netflix is announcing a multi-year production deal with former President and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama. They'll work both in front of and behind the camera. According to a person involved in the deal, 2019 is the earliest that viewers can expect to see any content from the Obamas. That content could include documentaries, features, and scripted and unscripted series programming. Olympic medal-winning figure skater Adam Rippon and his partner Jenna Johnson are the winners of ABC's Dancing with the Stars Athletes Edition. Tanya Harding, Josh Norman, and Rippon all made it to the finals. A jazz routine and freestyle dance won Rippon and Johnson the coveted Mirror Ball Trophy. 19-year-old Maddie Poppe is the new American Idol champion. She was between her and her boyfriend, Caleb Lee Hutchison, for the title. The two announced their secret relationship during the season finale of Idol last night, shocking host Ryan Seacrest and the judges. Not a bad ending to ABC's first season of the show, and it has been renewed for season 2.
How did they keep that a secret?
I know. But they,
those camera crews are everywhere on that show, as I
You would
understand
think,
it.
yeah.
That's
Apparently
pretty
not.
clever.
Or maybe they just all kept it a secret so that the audience and the judges and everyone could be surprised. Maybe they knew.
So, maybe they did. Maybe they're just good actors.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, again, you might want to check out the website, mysuncoast.com, for more information on developing system in the Caribbean and its impact on our weather. And, of course, Bob in at 5 with the latest.
Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you later this afternoon.